Okay, so guys, today I have the topic with the stakeholder management. So any idea about the stakeholder management? What is who will be the stakeholder for the project?
Any
Any
individual who's impacted by the execution of this project basically would be a stakeholder to the project.
excellent. Any other input for any other person? Chitra, Nirupama?
Yeah, same from me. Anyone who's been impacted with the actions that we take. Same.
Okay. So I'll explain one by one. So a stakeholder is nothing but like there are two types of the stakeholder. One is external stakeholder and one is internal stakeholder. So whenever we are just going to make any project, the two type of the stakeholder are like external and internal. Any idea about what is external? Who will be external? Who will be the internal?
May I?
Anyone?
KG, may I? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah. Go ahead. No problem.
Yeah, internal stakeholders are those like director and other like GM directors. They are internal stakeholders, and the external stakeholders are client or CA as per your deliverables, who you have to deliver the products or services.
Excellent. So we already know about like external and internal. So our internal stakeholder who has like our steering committee, our senior project manager, or our CXO, our CTO. These are our internal stakeholder. Even the development team is our external internal. Our operation team will be our internal. Our DevOps team will be our internal. So these all are whatever you just consider it a project, the e-commerce project, and we are developing the e-commerce project. So these who will be the people who will be just developing internally in the company. These all are our internal stakeholder. Now we are coming with the external stakeholder. So external stakeholder in the sense our client, our customer who will be going to use that the website. So these all are our external stakeholder. Okay, how do we identify the stakeholder? What are the technique is there to identify the stakeholder? Any idea about that? Anybody?
Here, there is a matrix for the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are some matrices, which matrix you are using, and it depend on your model. Which model are you working on? So you can just go on to identify the matrices, to identify the auditors, stakeholders. So I'm not getting the name of some. There are up to.
Okay, I'll come with that, like how we are going to identify the stakeholder. So first thing, we make a workshop to identify the stakeholder. The first thing, if you are going to see the project charter, so in the project charter, high level of the stakeholder has been written. Last meeting, I already showed that project charter is there. Inside the project charter, who is the project manager is there, who will be going to report the project manager, and project manager is going to report whom. So these all are the stakeholder hierarchy is written like high level. Now, as a project manager, when we are going to identify the stakeholder, I need to make the workshop. So what the workshop, whole team will be there along with the team, others like sales, marketing, all the people will gather and we just discuss about that who will be our stakeholder. So this is called the brainstorming session and workshop session. So in this session, we gather the stakeholder. The next thing, The first we already understand with the given by a sponsor where the project charter has been written. The second thing we are just doing with the brainstorming session or workshop session, and we are gathering the stakeholder. Now, sometime what will be happen, like when we are going to create some project, like I'm just creating one building. So in this building and all creation, there are the various kind of the stakeholder involved over there. So that time we are using pastel. Any idea about the pastel? Any?
Sorry, about
The
what?
political economic.
Yes, 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 yes. Any idea about like? So in the pastel, what will be there? The first is political. Like suppose if I'm going to create one building, some of the stakeholder it can be there for the political. Then E for economical. Uh, once again. So
It's economic and social.
yes, I'll just check it because uh, some name should be not the wrong. So pastel means political, economical, social, technical, legal. These all are the people will be there for that stakeholder. That we are going to gather the stakeholder identification. I'll come once again. What is the political? So we are just discussing when we are creating one building. Some political people may be involved to take the like sign off or the take the like legal process. So that people will be there for the political. Then is for economical, like how the economics, how the cost and all this part will be involved, and how the other people will be just supporting for there. That people will be there. Next is the social. So when we are creating any project, like the social people also will be going to involve social near about the where the building we are creating, the social people involved, and we need to understand who all are there. Then the technological people will be just going to create the buildings and all, how they are going to create, where the architect and everyone will be there for technical part. We need to check who will be there for the technological people. Next is legal. So when we are going to construct the buildings, definitely some legal process will be there for to create the building. Some approval will be there for that uh, legal person. So these people are one of the stakeholder for there. And last for environmental. So environmental people uh, is one of the stakeholder for the when we are creating the building, and we need to check it who all are there. So these are the way to identify the stakeholder. Is there any question for right now? Feel free to ask me the question. If any question will be there in your mind, you just ask me. It's clear for that, like how we are going to identify the stakeholder.
Yes.
Okay. Next, once the stakeholder identification is done, we are just making the categorization for the stakeholder. What is the categorization for the stakeholder? Any idea about? One more thing is there, like a stakeholder register. Also, we are just writing, and inside the stakeholder register, we are writing all the details, and even the power matrix interest. We are just going to write inside the stakeholder area. I'll just explain what is the power matrix interest. Any idea about what is the power matrix for a stakeholder?
Yeah, as per their power and authorization required and responsibility also. When we put on in the variables, all the variables in the matrices, we can analyze that how much, what is his responsibility and authority. So we can analyze and we can rectify that this how important this stakeholder is.
Excellent, excellent. Any other people they want to add something, some more?
Yeah, we can also check with the power and interest, whether the interest is high or low, or power is high
Yes.
or low.
Good, good, good. So I'll
There,
explain like
there are some more variables including level of interest, level of impact, influence or power, support or opposition, predictability, knowledge or awareness, detailed information, and distance from the project with the frequency of updates required in this.
good, 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 Shweta. So I'll just make here like power interest matrix. I'll explain it that what is this? What is the meaning of that?
Mukesh, are you sharing something on the screen?
I'm sharing. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
1
not.
minute.
Yeah.
Able to see my screen?
Yes.
Guys, you are able to see my screen?
Yes.
Now
Yes.
we
Done.
can. Now we can.
Okay, okay. So I'll just making here the power and power and interest grid. So you just see here on the both the arrow is the top. So high power and high interest. You put it the the stakeholder who has the high power and high interest. You just make him. You just manage him very closely. Like will be there the high power high interest in the project? Any idea about that? Any 1 and 2 person. The person name will be like a sponsor, client,
Who
our
are
steering
directly,
committee.
yeah, who are directly impacted, we can say.
No, no, no. The high power and high interest, like who has the high power, he can change anything, and who has the high interest, who will be just giving the work, who will be just giving the project. Like client, he has a high power and high interest. What we can do for him, we can manage closely. This kind of the people, it'll become here like a sponsor, then client, then our
Immediate
steering
senior
committee,
executives.
a senior executive also will be there. Steering committee people also will be there. So these are the people we has high power, high interest. What we are going to do for him? We are going to manage him very closely. So this is the high power, high interest. Next is coming like high power but low interest. Who will become inside that? Any idea about like
Senior management.
senior management also it can be there. PMO also will be there. These people has like high
Com-
power but low interest. The PMO
Company
has more
CEO.
money. Yes, Sweta, go ahead.
Company CEO.
It can be. It can be. We can see that when we are going to identify the stakeholder, we can see that who has the high power but low interest. He is not taking that much interest. Yes, he need some information, but he not involved directly. Like our PMO, he need the report like how we are doing, but he is not involved completely in the project. So these are the people. Is high power, low interest. What we are going to do for him? Keep satisfying.
Yeah. Company
This kind of the
regulators are also involved in it, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Because
That
they
also
are
will be there.
only, they are required only reports. They are least bothered about what is going on.
Correct, correct. So these people, what we are going to do, like first people who has high power, high interest, we are going to make him monitor closely. Who has the high power but less interest, keep satisfying. We are just sending him mail. We are just updating him that what will be going to happen, what are the next phase is available, how we are doing. We are behind the schedule or we are ahead the schedule, or how the budget part is happening, how the resource part is happening, all the information, keep satisfied, keep sending him. So this will be happen if had a high power and high interest. Okay, the next is coming uh, low power. They don't have power but high interest. What we are going to do for these people?
Like team members.
Team members also will be there, like vendor
End users.
will be there. Vendor, uh, third party, client, like this. These people will be there, like they have the low power but high interest. What we are going to do for them? Keep informing, like whatever the information, keep inform him. Like we are just keep informing, like how the product will be going to come. Client will be there, like if I'm going to learn some e-commerce portal, the client is looking, okay, some other functionality they have requested. So what we are going to do for him, we are just keep informing that this feature will be going to come next 2 months or next 1 month. So this kind of the people is available, this kind of the stakeholder is available. We are just categorizing. So this kind of the stakeholder we are just making keep informing. Okay. Next is coming low power, low interest. What we are going to do for this kind of the stakeholder and who will be there for that?
Just monitoring.
Yes. This kind of the stakeholder monitor after some time. Okay. So they have low power, low interest. This kind of the stakeholder, we are just going to monitor after some time. We will keep in the buffer area. We can see time to time that is this his power interest will be going to change or not. So this kind of the stakeholder we will just monitor after some time, not in the urgency. Like we can keep in buffer, we will see later. So this kind of the stakeholder categorization is there. Is there any doubt for the stakeholder categorization? Or is this clear for?
Yes, clear.
Clear.
Good. Now we are just going to see like PMP perspective, one more kind of the categorization is there. I'll explain you that. So when we are going to happen like upward, downward, sideward, and external, internal. Any idea about what is upward, downward? Anybody? Any idea? So I'll just see here the upward. So in the upward stakeholder, who will be there in the upward stakeholder? As a project manager, if you are a project manager, who will be the upward stakeholder for you?
Clients and program managers.
Good, good.
Client and program manager is support.
Okay. So like who I'm going to report is my upward stakeholder, like sponsor, my CXO, my CTO. These all are my upward stakeholder. Client also will be there. Client, CTO, CXO. These all are my upward stakeholder. Who will be my downward stakeholder? Any idea about that?
Project team.
Excellent.
Team members.
Yes. And who that person is going to report me is my downward stakeholder, like my development team, my team members, uh, my infrastructure team, like most of that will be just going to report us. So these are my downward stakeholder. Okay, what is the sideward? Here the sideward will be there. Who will be the sideward stakeholder? Any idea about?
Any other dependent project which possibly
yeah,
is a downstream or an upstream project which actually feeds into the project, or which where my project
functional
feeds
manager,
out? Okay.
my functional manager, or similarly like how I'm manager. So similarly, some other manager in the team, they'll be also going with my side word. Like functional manager is there in some of the organization, so it my side word stakeholder. QA manager sometime it will be happen in the some project. So this is my side word stakeholder. Okay.
This comes in primarily from a matrix organization standpoint, right? If you have
Correct,
to
correct,
understand an organization, not all
correct,
organization we will find the sideward stakeholders, because if we are saying functional manager, QA, and all, they may on a very upright organization where we have a hierarchical approach,
correct, correct,
right? We will have
correct,
a QA, everybody under this project manager, right?
correct, correct, correct.
So yeah,
So some of the organization will be happen with the side one manager. So we need to identify some of the organization will be not there. So it will be okay. And next is coming like our internal and external stakeholder. So we already discussed like what is external and internal stakeholder. We already know about that, right? So this is one of another way of the categorization for the stakeholder. Is it clear? This is happen with the like project management standpoint. These all are the things will be there inside the PMP standpoint. So we should know about that. We should aware of that. Is this clear till now? Okay. So next we are going to see that like we already understand like how we are going to identify the stakeholder, who will be our external and internal stakeholder, how the stakeholder register will be there, how the power matrix grid will be there. Sometime in the power matrix grid, two more is there, but it's not required in the like project management. Like salience model will be there for the to check the stakeholder. Uh, and one more is there like cubic way of the identifying, but it's not required much in the PMP. And even the organizational is also not follow much, so we stop for that. Now the next thing is there. We have like various kind of the stakeholder now. I'll explain one by one. So some of the stakeholder will be there unaware. He don't know about the project. Some of the stakeholder will be the resistance. Some of the stakeholder will be there supportive or supportive. Some of the stakeholder will be leading, and some of the stakeholder will be the natural or neutral. Any idea about this stakeholder categorization? Any idea what? Unaware, resistance, supportive, leading, natural, or neutral. Any idea about that?
No.
okay. Terminology can get me to make some guesses, but then it not very confident.
Okay, I'll explain. So what will be happen? Like whenever we are going to categorize the stakeholder, some of the stakeholder it can be unaware. He don't know much about the product. He don't know much about the process. He don't know much about how we are doing. So this kind of the stakeholder will be the unaware. What as a project manager work will be there. Some of the this category we just need to make in the desirable stage. Like if it is somebody don't know about that product and all these things in the stakeholder, as a project manager, I make sure that he aware of the project, he know about the project and how the project is doing. All this information we are giving So that people comes in the desirable stage. Some of the stakeholder is very resistant, like uh, the two stakeholder is there. One is marketing, one is inside the sales. A sales team is saying that, okay, this functionality has been completed within given the timelines. And other stakeholder is saying, no, my whatever my requirement is there, that is also equally important. So this kind of the stakeholder will become with the resistance stakeholder. So how you are going to manage that is comes under like conflict for the stakeholder. Uh, uh, Stakeholder conflict will be you can say. And as a project manager, you need to understand his interest, and we need to understand which one stakeholder will be which one stakeholder work will be going to give more value for the project, and based on that we can decide, and based on that we can make the collaboration, make understanding, and then we can make with the desirable stage. So this kind of the one of the resistance stakeholder will be there. Next is coming supportive stakeholder. Some of the stakeholder very supportive. If you are just sending message, he'll be just reply on the time. He worried about like the process. He worried about like if it is something is not going to complete. He always supportive for the project. So this kind of the stakeholder we keep inside the supportive stakeholder. Some of the stakeholder is leading the project, like if you see the like client side, some of the stakeholder will be there. He'll be just checking every week update for the project. He's just checking like how the reporting part is completed or not, how the project performance will be there or not, how the project like budget is proper or not. He is leading the project and he check everything. So this kind of the stakeholder, leading a stakeholder, it's always good for the project. Supporting and leading both are very good for the project. Next is coming, sometime it's
Okay.
coming. Next is coming sometime natural, or sometime it will be coming neutral. So if it is both the scenario will be written some of the book. Some places is written natural, some places is written neutral. So we come with the neutral. Some of the stakeholder is very neutral. If you ask, he'll be reply. Otherwise, he'll not reply. So this kind of the stakeholder also we need to make him understand all the process. We are sending time to time the report, make him to understand the project, and he come with the desirable stage. So these are the another category for the stakeholder, and as a project manager, I need to make him the desirable stage. Is this clear? Guys, is this clear?
Yes, plus please proceed further.
Okay. So inside the stakeholder, this much thing is there, means we care all this thing. Like we check external and internal, identify the stakeholder, then categorize the stakeholder, then power matrix inside the stakeholder, then this category we define, and we write inside the stakeholder register all details like ABC, the stakeholder name, which category, which area is there, either external is there, internal is there. We are going to write which power matrix interest he has. A more power, he has more interest, we are going to write. How we are going to manage him, that also we have written. All this information is written inside the stakeholder. We already see the power matrix interest. This all are the things is happen inside the stakeholder. Now I'm going to ask you the question for the stakeholder part. You guys give your own answer for that. It'll be not a problem, like whatever the answer you are giving. So you think about in your stakeholder. This is very important, very critical part for the project. So you always aware of the stakeholder identification and management. So how you are going to communicate the stakeholder? My question is here, like how you are going to communicate the stakeholder? What are the way you have to communicate the stakeholder? Guys, the question is clear?
Yeah.
How you
What
are
are
going to,
modes of communication with the stakeholders?
yeah.
We may need to check maybe the time zones of the stakeholders, or maybe the communication channel they wish to prefer, maybe the emails, immediate chats like this, or call invites. So we need to take their preferences first during the survey. We may initiate a survey, or maybe during the discovery sessions, whenever we find time, we could check upon this communication channels as well. What are their preferences? Accordingly, we may agree to and set up the mode of communication with them.
Good, Suresh. So good point you added. So
Sure.
when we are just going to communicate with the our client or customer, we make sure that which time zone he is there, and we have various channel available. Like email is already you explained, chat is already explained. Then the video calling is one of the major part is there for the communication where we speak face to face, and face to face is communication is always better. So this is one another part is there for the communication. And sometime like we are sending report and all, this is also part of the communication. Some people they don't want to come with the video calls and the chat and all, but they see that our report, like our uh, higher authority. So that is also one of the part of the communication. We can just explain like this. Okay, is this clear, or I can ask some more question?
Yeah, I have categorized a similar thing in three parameters. Like for upward stakeholders, we give generally the high level summaries like dashboards or reports that they want. They need to know what is the return of their investment, what are the business impact and risks. So this is for upward stakeholders who are above PM level. Below PM level, when we talk about team members, analysts, and direct reportees that you said, for them we generally communicate in a very much detailed or detail oriented frequent updates. They need to have task level details and task level communication instruction, and we need to wait for the two-way communication. And third category was sideward stakeholders that we spoke about, someone who is another functional manager along with us. They will see what is in it for them, that whether it is, we need to communicate in a way that what is a mutual benefit, what dependencies that we have on each other, what we can negotiate or what can be collaborative between that department and us. So this is how I have categorized upward, downward, and sideward stakeholders, if this is right.
Good, Nirvama. Good. One of the more category we seen. It's good.
Category wise, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So the next question, like the conflict between the stakeholder, two stakeholder, the same interest, the conflict will be there. How, as a project manager, you are going to handle? Like one uh, project manager is saying my work is always priority, and another is also saying my work is also priority. So as a project manager, how you are going to resolve this conflict and how you are going to drive the project? What are the approach you have for that? Anyone want to go highlight that? Anybody? Today's Meera, Shweta. How you are going to manage the conflict between the stakeholder, two stakeholder?
Maybe empathetically, we must facilitate a session among the stakeholders so that at least on the table we could discuss what are their priorities, immediate priorities, what they're talking about, and maybe during this facilitation we may come up with a solution that what exactly what exact requirement we must be prioritizing first in order to implement. So a quick answer could be the empathetically facilitating a session among them and being patient to once they are finished with their minds, and then we must initiate further and decide what should be the priority to be taken up further. In short,
Good students, good, good, good. Any other people? Any other suggestion, thought?
Yeah, let me give a try. So my own approach would be to like get to the stakeholders, get a one-on-one with the stakeholders, and try to find out where the cause of their conflict. And once I get a grasp of what the conflict is about, and I'll go ahead and schedule a general call with the stakeholders, with any other party that is concerned on the conflict, and we go from there and have a discussion, and really trying to focus on the goal and not trying not to be taking side between the stakeholders.
Good point, Mira. So, I'll explain that the answer for that. So, if it is the two stakeholders facing the problem with the conflict, as a project manager, I need to understand both the people requirement. And once we understand the people requirement, if it is required, I can discuss with the team also, and then I can make some homework. Like I do the homework and I make some preparation for that, like what other people is looking, what other stakeholder is looking. And once I got the whole idea about the conflict, I need to make the facilitate the workshop. I mean, need to make the facilitate meeting for the both the stakeholder, and I need to keep the points like uh, all the both the stakeholder. Like somebody is saying that okay, my logging page should be there because if it is the logging page, the user will be able to log in. Somebody will be saying that okay, my home page should be there on the first. So we need to discuss about the both the people, like which is more important for the project right now, not the later, but right now, which is more important for the project. And as a
Manish,
project manager,
uh,
we have to discuss both the point, and then we come with the conclusion with the both the stakeholder that these are the point is important for current development, and they'll be agree with that why this is important because we are just giving the value. Like if I'm using this, it will be enhance our project in this phase for our project. So once we give all the details, then they already come with the conclusion that we can go with this development first, and whatever the other development with later or next stage. So that all the information I'm going to give for the stakeholder, and I'm going to make sure resolve the conflict between both the people. So that is the approach. We can just write it. So we can involve with the team members also. We understand the clear requirement also. Definitely, we are not going to take the site. The Mira is already highlighted. We are not. We should not give the like take site. And the fourth is like we can discuss about the value of the project. And once this fourth thing will be happen, definitely the conflict will be resolved, and we are going to make with the right direction. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, for me.
So the next question, like whenever I'm just categorizing the stakeholder, my the two type of the traditional and predictive and agile way of the development right now we are doing in the market. In the suppose in the traditional project like waterfall project, some of the stakeholder like high priority stakeholder or like high power high interest of the stakeholder, he'll come and he asking that you're just going to change some of the part. As a project manager, what you are going to do for that? You accept the challenges, or you are just going to accommodate in the project, or you are going to ask for the change management request, and we are going to ask like time schedule and cost should be going to increase. What
I
your
think
approach will be there?
So for a traditional project, I think we should go with a change management or change control process that should be incorporated. And the stakeholder should be notified to raise a change request, highlighting, and I mean, of course, as a project manager, it also becomes your responsibility to ensure that you share the template, which helps to describe the change, impact of the change, the question, the cost associated, and what impact. When it comes to the impact, it is important about the cost, the timelines, and the scope on the project. What are the changes, the type of change that this change is going to bring in, so that it can be discussed with the change control board, necessary approvals are taken, and then it is implemented, and the change plan can be the project plan can be incorporated with the change as well, and those are communicated, most importantly, because that's important that every stakeholder is notified about the change that is taking place in with the change with the project.
Good, good, Nishant. Excellent, excellent explanation. Okay. Uh, if it is this is the waterfall, we are just going to ask the change control board, and we are following the whole process, and definitely that will be going to impact with the three constant of the project management, where the scope, schedule, and cost will be there, and we are going to update him that these are the things will be going to affect. So we are going with the complete change control board change management process. Make sure that in the PMP they'll be going to ask you the sum of the question with the change control management, like how you are going to control uh, uh, if any change will be happen. Next question is coming like what is scope creep will be there? Any idea about, guys?
Change in scope or expanding the scope of the work.
Scope creep.
During the execution of the project, changes in the scope of the work or changes in the scope of the work. Like we say that we want to build a building for 300 people, right? And tomorrow, while we are working towards, we are in the construction phase, or we are in that phase of construction, we say that no, 300 needs to be increased to 500, which basically means that we may need to add another floor. So that's a scope creep.
Good, Nishan, good. So similarly, like you are just going to prepare something for your breakfast, and somebody after like 50% completed, somebody will be going to come and they ask some more things to complete, and given the timeline only. So this comes under the scope creep. So the previous question is also related with that. That's why I bring this scope creep. Sometime they'll be going to ask you the scope creep. Uh, Next question I'm going to ask is stakeholder management. We understand more, and now we are just go for a bit deeper in the scope. So whenever I'm going to do the scope management, how many type of the estimation technique is there? Anybody can just highlight the estimation technique and how many type of the estimation technique is there? I'm just asking with the waterfall way, not the agile way. So you go with the waterfall way. How many type of the estimation technique? Any idea about analogous, parametric, bottom up,
Yeah, bottom up.
PERT?
Analogous is there, bottom up is there, parametric is there,
PERT is there.
expert judgment is also there.
No, I'm just asking like estimation technique.
Uh, the techniques are quite a number of them. I mean, analogous estimation is one of the method which is based on historical data from similar
Excellent,
projects.
excellent.
Uh,
And the
bottom up,
accuracy is less. Accuracy is less in the analogous.
yes, of course, because historically there could have been cost
Correct.
variations. Yeah, right. And if you don't
Next,
factor it, and it's like an estimation, right? there is a top-down approach also, which basically is like an high-level estimate, which at the beginning of the project says that I want to build a car which may cost, you know,
Okay.
5 million, something like that.
Wait, I'll explain first, then we'll discuss. So the like 4-5 estimation technique is mostly used. The first is analogous. So what will be happen in the analogous? We see that okay, some of the project we already completed in the history, and same project has been came. So how we are going to do? We are take the history kind of the estimation, and we are just uh, uh, thinking about this project also will be take this much time, these are the resources, these are the budget will be there. That's comes under the analogous estimation. Is less accuracy, there is no much accuracy. So we use very less on the analogous estimation. It will be depend on the historic data. Now why we are taking less for this analogous estimation? Because today the technology has been changed, the resource has been changed, the timelines has been changed. So many things will be changed, and we are taking historical. It can be vary from the today world. So that's the reason we are not taking much in the analogous estimation. Second is coming parametric. So parametric, we are just checking with the numbers. Like okay, this project has been completed with 6 months. And similarly, project is there. I'll just make this like 7 months or 8 months. Some number will be there in the parametric estimation. This is also not highly secure, highly recommended, because it can be go here and there. Next is coming bottom-up estimation. Most of the people, most of the project manager will be do the bottom-up estimation. So what will be happen in the bottom-up estimation? Epic is there, and inside the epic we are just breaking down the all the work, like epic to feature, feature to task, task to subtask, and we can come with the conclusion that these are the times we're going to take. So this is the highly secure and most accurate estimation technique is there for that. Next is like pot estimation, like where optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely divided by 3. So I'll just show you here. Um, these are the 3. So we divided by 3, and we just make some conclusion that will be happen with this way. So it will become here like optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. So the pot estimation technique, the formula is this, and we do for that way to estimation. And you can see the estimation technique, how many they're going to give. Analogous is here. Expert judgments is also one of the part. Analogous is here, like less accurate it will be coming. Then parametric estimation. This one of the example where we are just giving the numbering. Then the 3-point OMP. OMP also will be divided like optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. Bottom of estimation, like highly accurate. Most of the people they do. And the last is top down estimation that Nishant is already explaining. So the positive first, then they split the smaller part. This is also like bottom up estimation technique only. Del P whiteboard, Del P will be there, and Del P technique will be there. This is also very using technique sometimes. And planning poker is always used in the Scrum and Agile. So in the planning poker is like reach they are using 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. When we are going to do the estimation for the any story points, we use the Fibonacci series in the planning poker, and we can do so. The first, whatever the first number, the next number is 60% bigger than the first number. Another this the 60% bigger for the previous number. So that technique is mostly used in the Scrum and Agile, and they are the various these planning poker.
So the planning
So
poker in
this
that,
technique
it's
is
like,
various reason.
isn't that a calculation like 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, like that,
Correct.
using the
But what will
estimation
be
cards? Yeah.
happen like first, yeah. So so what will be happen like 5 plus 3 equal to 8. So 60% more, like whatever this 5, next number is coming from him, the 60% more. That is comes under the Fibonacci series, like technique, the estimation, and why we are using like 60% more for the next number. That is the reason behind it. When we are going to discuss in the agile way of the working, we will discuss like why we are making like after 3, why we are taking the 5, why not 4? If I'm 5 story point, why we are taking next 8? Why not 6 or 7? So there is reason behind it. So these are the main technique we can see. But in the if you are going with the like project management side, we have 4 5 estimation technique they will ask: analogous, parametric, this part, and the bottom up estimation. The 4 technique is mostly asked. If you are going with the like agile way of the working, planning poker will be the most asked question inside the interview. Like why we are using planning poker, how we are going to do. One more is there like fish to five. Means fist and five. This technique also they'll be going to ask sometime. So we'll discuss when we are going to discuss with the agile way of the working and in the estimation technique with the story points and all. So today we understand completely a stakeholder, we understand some of the part of this scope estimation technique, we understand like power interest matrix, we understand like categorization of the stakeholder part, how we are identify the stakeholder. So all are the things we understand. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Guys, is this clear? Yeah. So
Yes.
today's session we are just closing for the stakeholder part. Next section we will see that planning phase. So sorry, next project planning will be there. Inside the project planning, like how project management plan will be there, how the change control process will be there. We discuss some of the part with the change control, how the integrated change control will be there, how we are configuring configuration management is there, and what are the things inside the project governance. This is very important. Sometimes they'll be asked you the question what are this inside the project governance and how you are going to handle it, how they'll be doing the project governance, what are the things they'll decide in the project governance. So all the things we will discuss tomorrow. Any question for the today's session?
No.
No, insightful, especially coming from you, where to focus more on the marks, which are the compulsory questions were very insightful. Thank you.
So PMP, like PMP perspective, we can see like all the things, like whatever the 12, 14, or I share one seat inside that all the stakeholder, like waterfall part will be there and agile part will be there. So 60% question they'll be going to ask you in the agile part of the in the interview. 40% question they'll be going to ask inside the waterfall area. In the waterfall area, two means so many things is there like initialization, then stakeholder, then scope, then schedule, then cost, then budget, then procurement part will be there, then closure part will be there. This all are the things we need to understand for the waterfall area. When we are coming with the agile, like completely agile part will be there, scrum part, some of the part will be there. That is very important nowadays because 60% of the question they'll be asking inside the agile way of the working.
Okay.
So we understand both and we can make conclusion for the both. Then it's easy to handle the questions. I'll guide each and every part, like which is required, which is not, which is not that much required. Like Salience model, I already told it's not required for the project management way of the working. And the 3D model for that stakeholder identification is not required. Only the stakeholder identification like power matrix interest will be there. Categorization will be there. They'll be asked sometime. The unaware resistance, these are the parts sometimes they'll ask. So that is important for that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.